This should have been the first Fold.
Feels like upgrades in all the right places for the Fold. This is the refined version.
Samsung design at its best.
Nice large screen, might as well also be brighter and easy to use outdoors. $100 increase. Feels bad, man.
Ooh, the price is a hard pill to swallow.
The price is nasty. Hello guys, welcome to PhoneArena Show, yet another episode for you. Episode 10, we're here, back at it again, and we have a lot of ground to cover, a lot of news. This week, what do we have? Unpacked, happened, took place. We have the Fold 6 right here, we have the Flip 6, we have the whole Galaxy ecosystem of wearables, of watches, of ultra watches, of earbuds, rings. Even. And even beyond the Galaxy ecosystem, we have other interesting news also to cover, like CMF watch and other interesting nothings.
Other interesting nothings.
Nothings. So we might as well get started with the biggest topic for today, which is the Galaxy Fold 6, which is finally here. Here it is. In the beautiful, I don't know what that is, gray color, slate, silver, gray, something. I love gray.
Looks pretty good. This color, I love it. I love the
this
colors.
color. Yeah.
Business-like, understated, very stylish, and like all the rumors happen, kind of. And I think this redesign kind of approaches it brings it closer to the perfect form factor for the phone.
Right. Yeah, I feel like this is the, like, if you take the original Fold, and they haven't changed the vision for the Fold, right? Ever since the first Fold, right up to the 6th generation now, I feel like they've stuck to the vision, and this here is like the vision completed. This is the refined version.
You know what this feels to me? This feels like this should have been the first Fold.
Oh, man.
It feels really refined, but in a way that makes all the other Folds before kind of feel outdated, just purely in terms of design. So if I could kind of reset the clock, this for me is like kind of the Gen 1 all over again. This is like the new standard.
The new beginning for the Fold. Actually, the Fold 5 is still pretty good. If you take them side by side, I mean, it still looks pretty good, although it has the rounded edges and everything. And this one, obviously a departure.
Let's go over the changes. Fold 6 versus Fold 5. What strikes you the most?
Biggest changes, of course, I think it's the design, although, like, again, the vision is the same. It's not some crazy wide shape, other aspect ratio like the Pixel Fold, for example. So it's still this like TV remote style form factor.
Samsung DNA, let's call it.
Tall and narrow, but it looks completely different. It's like a completely different phone with these absolutely flat sides, sharp rectangular edges. Kind of reminds me of the S24 Ultra design language, although this thing is more compact in terms of dimensions, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest one. Upgrade to the hinge, where it counts the most. Upgrade to the hinge. Now, what actually strikes me about the Fold 6 is like the perfected mechanics and the perfected engineering. Like this perfect shape with nice equal bezels all around, super thin bezels. Very interesting, almost all of the other foldables, including the previous Folds, if you look at them from the front, they're not symmetrical, right? They're very asymmetrical products. They have a sharper line here on the hinge side, and then on the other side they're all rounded, because when you unfold it, they become rounded on all four corners. In this thing, I think it's the first foldable I see which looks like a regular phone from the front. It has a more symmetrical look to it.
There's something about all the little changes that Samsung
Yeah.
has made that kind of comes together in this design. It's first for me, the big thing that strikes me the very moment I pick this up is just how much lighter it is and how much thinner it is. Because there's this threshold, I don't know where you kind of go over it, but I feel like Samsung has just done this. It has just made this a little bit more compact, but enough to feel this crucial difference. So you pick it up and feel like, finally, okay, this is usable. It's not too chunky like the previous ones.
Yeah.
It's not too heavy. It looks stylish. The flat edges look nice. And for me, a big change, also a big difference is the front, the little details like the sharp corners on the design and also the sharp corners on the screen.
Yeah.
They kind
Yeah.
of follow the
Yeah.
design. So it looks very, very nice. I would say that unlike the Galaxy Watch Ultra, this is Samsung design at its best. So the Galaxy Watch Ultra, obviously a little bit similar to the Apple Watch Ultra.
Yeah.
This one, a thing of its own. The original design, beautiful, refined. And another detail, I don't know if you noticed this. Do you see what is missing here in the back?
What? Samsung logo?
Yeah, previous ones.
Is that new?
Yeah, previous
okay.
ones had the Samsung logo right here. Now you
Yeah.
don't have it. You do have it on the hinge, kind of right here on the side, but not on the back. And I also like this. It's
Yeah, looks
just
pretty good. I noticed that the
super
logo
clean.
is on the hinge, and I wondered, was it always there?
I'm not
guess
sure
not.
if previous ones had it on the hinge, but they surely had it on the back. So yeah,
Makes for a very nice, clean look.
definitely.
Yeah, and again, the hinge better, stronger. They optimized it, the mechanical engineering there, so it has fewer components. It's lighter, but also stronger, and it snaps really nicely
Yeah.
into place. It's completely open. Again, straight lines, no longer that almost open type of feeling with previous folds.
And you know how some people fetishize the sound the car door makes when you close it? It's
Yeah,
kind of that feeling
kind
with
of
the
that.
Fold 6. I just kind of want to hear it.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
thump of the hinge.
It's great. Unfortunately, there's still a little bit of a crease there.
Yeah.
They improved on it. Thicker front glass, stronger, which I'll take this.
Yeah.
I'll take this. Stronger glass, and especially in the middle part here, which is great. But yeah, still leaves a little bit of a crease there in the middle. Doesn't look too bad to me. It's not that noticeable right now.
Yeah.
It's better than the previous Fold. So yeah. And what else do we have? We have obviously the new Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy again with improved
Yeah.
thermal management. With it has a big vapor chamber there to keep it nice and cool.
We have something else that really strikes me also is the change in screen brightness. And I wouldn't,
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to these numbers usually because you get like, the manufacturers give you crazy numbers. Now we have 4,000 nits, 4,500 nits. What does it mean? Oh, those numbers are measured when you just have like 1% black. So
Yeah.
it's it's a totally black screen. You have just a point of white that they kind of measure that. So it's not a very realistic measurement, is what I'm saying. But I took the Fold 6 for some photos, and then I had the Fold 5 to compare the cameras. And as I was using them outdoors, you just notice the big difference in screen brightness,
Yeah.
both the outer screen and the inner screen. So this makes a big difference to me. I like the improved brightness.
You have a nice large screen, might as well also be brighter and easy to use outdoors.
Yeah.
It's very fast also. Not only it's great on the benchmark numbers, but also
Yeah.
real life seems really fast as well. We are just running it through our camera and battery benchmarks and finalizing the scores. From the looks of it, it also has improved battery life
Yeah. Yeah.
compared to the previous one, although the battery size is the same.
Battery size is the same, but you do have a much larger vapor chamber inside for cooling, so that might help, especially when it comes to gaming. And that's one area where we saw higher scores. So probably the cooling has indeed improved, and the chipset is
also
more power efficient.
Yeah, yeah. So that's great. Just feels like upgrades in all the right places for the Fold. Again, there's still room for improvement. Get rid of the crease, maybe next year. But to me, personally, the biggest disappointment after the lack of dust resistance, which was rumored, is the price.
Ooh, the price is a hard pill to swallow.
The price is nasty. Now, the first Fold, I think, came in at close to $2,000.
I think it was 1900 also, yeah.
Yeah, and then they kind of lowered it for the last few generations to 1800, and now we're back up to 1900. $100 increase. Feels bad, man. I don't like that.
Well, we hope that Samsung has some trade-in offers, and they do. So maybe we can just drop a comment to some great deals about this. So if you can trade in an older Samsung phone, the price might go down. And your other option is to just wait it out a few months, and you typically get some deals, especially for these foldable phones. But $1,900 is a lot of money, and many people won't buy it even if they like it just because the price is too high.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. If you have the previous Fold, you might as well trade it in and get this at a nice discount. But otherwise, I don't know about full price. It's a lot, 1900. Although, you know, I'm starting to think that these things probably can get to, I mean, way cheaper than they are right now, because it's what you have is a phone, complete phone with a large screen, a chipset, everything, and then throw on top of that a flexible OLED panel, which must cost a lot. I try to do a little bit of research to find out how much it costs, and for sure it's more expensive than regular phone screens. For example, I don't have exact numbers, but I believe that for your standard flagship type product like the S24 Ultra, iPhone Pro, it's probably around $120 for the component of this display.
Okay.
And for this one, you have the front display, which is probably around $100.
So
and
you have,
then on top of that, you have this one, which is surely more expensive, probably at around $150 for the flexible panel. You have an additional selfie camera here, one more. You have your dual battery components inside. Must be way more complicated engineering to fit properly all the components inside. That's gonna improve the cost. I don't know what else, but
maybe the manufacturing would also be a bit more difficult, maybe more manual labor. I'm not sure, but that's just a theory.
Yeah, just and it still has this flexible panel. It has support for the S Pen, so it has that special digitizer under it. A lot of technology, and it's almost like you have two phones in one here. And then the regular S24 Ultra comes in at around $1,300 starts. So yeah, you probably can't expect too much of a price reduction here. But still, feels bad.
Maybe if they make like that rumored and probably canceled FE version of the Galaxy Fold, if you don't want the fastest processor and you don't want the best cameras, maybe you can compromise a little bit, get the price a little bit lower, but it's still gonna be a pricey phone. Maybe they can drop it to, let's say, $1,300. But then you're buying a $1,300 phone that doesn't have a fast chipset, doesn't have a good camera. So they probably decide, well, who's gonna buy a slightly cheaper phone that's much worse?
Absolutely, yeah, makes sense. You're still in the above $1,000 range, and if you're gonna go and buy that much of an expensive phone, you won't be willing to compromise on the camera. Probably you won't be willing to compromise on the speed of the product. So
we started on a high note, and the moment we started talking about price, it suddenly became very sad.
Yeah, it's going downhill from here.
Yeah, but I want to talk about the other big announcement here in the foldable space, because another company from China, Honor, I think it was on July the 12th, they unveiled their new fold phone, which is very impressive. And so far, Honor Magic V3, that's the name, thinnest foldable phone in the world, 9.3 millimeters, and this one is around 12. So that's nearly a 30% difference, so much thinner. It's probably thinner than some regular phones currently. So in terms of engineering, super impressive. It also has got top specs. It's launching first in China, probably coming out globally in September, but of course that excludes the United States, where brands like Huawei and Honor are not competing. And that phone looks very exciting. We'll probably show you a picture somewhere here so you can just get an idea of what we're talking about. But one thing that early reviews about that phone have noticed that, and this is also true for the other Chinese phones that seem so advanced, none of them have the special sauce that Samsung brings, which is the quality of the hinge and the overall build quality. So this hinge here is super smooth. It can stay at an angle, feels very solid. It's just extremely well engineered. And those other companies are getting there, but they're not there yet. And even on that latest Honor Magic V3, it's a good enough hinge, not quite as good as the Fold 6. So this is one area where it really shows that Samsung has been in this game longer than the others. And in terms of just build quality, I think this is the most reliable phone out there currently.
Very interesting, very interesting. Was there any video of the V3 already out there?
Oh, sure, yeah. I think there are some videos already, yeah.
Is there like a visible crease in the display? Or?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's a very small one, but I cannot tell you for sure. I haven't used it, but in terms of video, I think it's not visible much in videos.
And by the way, guys, these are real phones. So, we have the V2 in the office, and it's a real foldable phone with real components, and it's really thin. So the V3
even thinner.
Even thinner, yeah. We're gonna check that out as well for sure. But the other announcement from Samsung, the other big one, is the Flip.
It looks like a little Pac-Man.
A little Pac-Man. Flip 6. Again, improved hinge.
So the Fold 6 is like mostly about I would say the design, the changes in design, and the Flip 6 is not so much about the design changes. It is very similar to the previous Flip 5. There are some differences. You still have these flat edges, which are new both on the on the Fold 6 and the Flip 6. But otherwise, I found it very strange. You go on Samsung's website and you open the Flip 6 page, and like one scroll or two scrolls down the page, you see that they say this is our most compact phone yet, and it is absolutely the same weight and same dimensions as the previous one. So that got me very confused. I honestly don't know. The weight is exactly the same as the previous model. I don't know what they're talking about here. What they're referring to, maybe the slight changes in design, but anyway, so what this is all about is about the internal components. So some Flip owners have complained that previously the battery life was not great. So now you have nearly 10% bigger battery, and you also, for the first time on a Flip phone, you get proper vapor chamber cooling. So when you're gaming, you have something more intense, the phone won't heat up. And there have been isolated reports about, like, you're watching a video, a phone gets uncomfortably hot. So you can probably avoid this with the Flip 6, hopefully.
Do we have like battery scores already?
Yeah, sure. We can show them on the screen right now. And actually, the improvement we see in battery scores is even bigger than 10%. So that's good to see.
Then you still have the new chipset here as well, right?
Absolutely. You have the new Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chipset.
So you have the improvement
flagship.
That, and you have the bigger battery. And the better cooling.
So it kind of all comes together. In terms of battery life, this one looks much better. You also have the other thing that I mentioned about the Fold, which is the brighter screens that, again, make a big difference for me when somewhere around here, you go outside, you need to see your phone. So you can actually see your phone much clearer here. What else is new? The camera. 50 megapixel main camera. Now with the option for sensor cropping, 2 times, Samsung calls it optical. It's similar to optical zoom. It's not a separate camera, so you still have only 2 cameras here. But the main camera, a little bit better. I wouldn't say it's a game changer, but it's a little bit better, and especially for zooming, the
Yeah.
difference in quality is really noticeable
It
compared
allows
to...
you to do like this 2x lossless type of zoom.
Yeah, definitely. And you also can, like you zoom to 5x, 10 times zoom, you can notice the difference like with digital zoom as well.
Right.
So it's improved indeed. But just in terms of like that cover screen, what Samsung calls the flex window,
It's pretty much the same, right?
it's the same one. It's exactly the same one. So no changes to that. And you still have your fingerprint here on the side. Again, very solid hinge, build quality. Samsung has got this. Yeah, and that's pretty much everything about the Flip 6. And unfortunately, same bad news. So probably we'll try to not get too sad.
No.
But the price used to be $1,000. Now it's $1,100.
Congratulations to prospective Flip 6 users.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
With deep pockets. We hope you have
Deep
deeper
pockets,
pockets. Samsung takes care of that. I like the Flip 6, the little changes they have done, but this definitely feels like an S year for.
Oh, again,
for the
it's
Flip.
the refinement all around.
Yeah.
Is the name of the game.
Yeah.
Closing the gaps where it lacked a little bit, like the camera, like the battery. So, alrighty. And maybe we can go straight to the wearables and talk a little bit about the new watches and the ring. I guess the one big news here is the Ultra watch.
Oh, it's
and
all
then
about
the
the
other is the
Ultra.
ring.
Yeah. I think the Galaxy Watch 7, the regular edition, kind of just faded because, well, it was pretty much the same watch as before. No real changes, a slightly faster chipset, but who cares about a chipset on a watch? So yeah, they have the new bioactive sensor they call it, which is supposed to be a little bit more accurate. But because of the slight tweak in hardware, it uses slightly different hardware. Now you can no longer use the reverse wireless charging feature on these new watches. So if usually you could just slap the watch on the back of your phone and your phone would act as a power bank. And unfortunately, this is no longer true for the Watch 7. So maybe that's the big news. But yeah, it was all about the Galaxy Watch 7 Ultra.
I don't really get the Watch Ultra at this point. I mean, I understand. So it has extreme durability, resistance to the elements, high temperature, low temperature, all of that good stuff. It looks good. I like the design.
That's a brave call.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It kind of like this. What is it? Squircle shape with a circle on top.
It's a very common. It's not just a squircle. So the body is a squircle. Then you have a circle.
Yeah. Well, many shapes on top of each other. Kind of like it, but it has the more extreme durability and better battery life.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and then what else? Is there any other reason why you would need to go for the Ultra and pay the premium?
Well, I would say battery life is definitely the main one. Samsung advertises it as a watch for extreme conditions, like if you're going snowboarding in some mountain or diving or whatever you do. Like, not many people do this. I guess some people might be attracted by this, but it's mostly about the battery life. And Samsung obviously saw that Apple has a very well-received product, which is the Apple Watch Ultra, which is more successful than at least I expected.
Yeah.
It kind of is bigger, but it's not too gigantic, and it gives you that good battery life. So they probably felt obliged to kind of respond. And to me, they responded in a very funny way by kind of copying very blatantly the design. So it looks like some of the colors.
I love it. I love it.
It's
so smart.
It's the totally different approach. You have this original design on the Flip and the Fold, and then you have the Galaxy Watch Ultra, super similar to
they could have skipped the orange watch band, but
yeah, I hope our video editor can show you here the Apple Watch Ultra and the Galaxy Watch Ultra in the same colors. The similarity, of course, striking.
And what was the battery life for the Ultra?
So you have the quoted life is 100 hours, which is, what is that, 4 days. with the power saving power saving mode. But if you don't use any power saving mode, it's around 48 hours.
All right.
So it's more than 2 days. Let's call it more than 2 days, which is pretty good. And you can stretch it to 4 days.
Yeah.
Now we haven't tested this one yet. We have just had short hands-on time with it, but haven't tested it. So we'll update you on the battery life situation. The other good thing is that it's kind of like an Apple Watch Ultra, but it costs less. So the Apple Watch Ultra, the price is $800. This one, $650. So pretty good difference in favor of the Galaxy
as
Watch.
you said, there a lot of people actually bought the Apple Watch Ultra, and for sure, not all of them are skydivers, hill climbers,
Definitely.
and whatever. I mean, they're like
Big majority.
normal people with money, and so they're probably doing it because you can see that it's the big watch from the family, and then also for the battery life, I guess, and the bigger screen also.
Yeah.
So,
But we have to say that the Galaxy Watch Ultra is a big watch. It's thick, it's chunky, it's a big watch.
yeah.
Yeah. So you have to keep that in mind. I would say probably even a little bit bigger than the Apple Watch Ultra, at least in the way it feels.
But the Watch Ultra also isn't a small watch, right?
Yeah.
It's also quite chunky.
All right, so when it comes to the health features in the Galaxy Watch 7 Ultra, you have something different, which is related to those blood sugar measurements that we talked about.
Yeah.
So
Is it only on the Ultra?
I think so. I'm not sure, but I think they kind of announced it with the Ultra.
Right.
So it is this thing called AGEs. So since Samsung cannot measure your blood sugar directly, this is kind of meant to be a surrogate measurement. And Samsung says it has something to do with your diet and lifestyle and kind of shows you your biological age.
Okay.
How does it work? What is it all about? I think it's a mystery for everyone at this point. Right. So we're kind of gonna see. And I think that like many companies like Samsung are trying to just kind of throw things out there, and this is definitely not certified or not like scientifically super valuable, but it's something that some people may find value in, and this is why they're doing this. But there's one other feature that is now certified, FDA certified, which is sleep apnea, which is, as far as I know, the first smartwatch which is officially certified to measure this. And this is indeed helpful, but do keep in mind that this certification kind of tells you that you can use the watch to kind of detect sleep apnea episodes, but it is not like a scientifically proven device. So you can kind of use it as a reference. It's safe to be used, but it's not like the go-to device that you should rely on. And then, like, if you have some indications of sleep apnea, then you should check with your doctor and use some other tests. So this is not like the only test that you should use.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so a bunch of new health features in the watches, the Watch Ultra, and that leaves us with, I believe, the Galaxy Ring.
Ooh,
Ring, which is... So the question here is, who's the Galaxy Ring for, I guess?
That is the big question.
Right. It's a health tracking, health and wellness tracking device.
Definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
Sleep tracking, whatever. And so, but if you have a smartwatch, which you're happy with, and they're also using for other things, other features, does it make sense to also get a Galaxy Ring?
No, I wouldn't say so. Because what else are you getting? You're the only thing that the Galaxy Ring gives you is it's more discreet.
Yeah.
Arguably, because it's kind of a big ring. It's a noticeable accessory. Maybe a little bit of style if you like that style. And battery life. It gives you
the big one.
The big one.
The battery life.
7-day battery life, so you can kind of wear it and forget about it.
Yeah.
And if you want to track your sleep, that might be just the perfect solution. For everything else, you're so much better off with a watch. For workout tracking, for example, the Galaxy Ring only has automatic workout detection. Last time I used this, I was in a dance class and my Galaxy Watch 6 detected that I'm swimming. So it's not always accurate, to say the least. So how accurate would it be? Probably not very. Would you take the Galaxy Ring for a run? No, because you need to track your metrics, you need to see your heart rate, you need to see your time, you need to see how far you've gone.
It probably tracks those metrics and you can see on the phone app, but you can't see them in real time as you're doing the exercise.
Right, yeah, exactly. And even that is kind of iffy. Like, you don't know how accurate that would be, but yeah, theoretically you can see them on your smartphone. So yeah, like, to me, just it seems like the watch already covers so much ground, and especially for the main things that you wanted for workouts, the Galaxy Watch or whatever smartwatch would be a much better choice. So where does that leave the Ring? I don't know.
Probably if you're not into smartwatches, you don't use a smartwatch, you don't
For some reason, you don't want the smartwatch.
feel the need to, you dislike the battery life of 1 to 2 days.
Yeah. So one argument I heard in favor of the Ring is that if you want to wear a classic watch, so you don't want to wear a smartwatch, you want to wear a classic watch, but you still want that health tracking, you can put on the Ring, and you're covered in terms of your...
But the idea here being that's your default setup, normal classic watch, plus the Ring, or you mean just in those occasions where you typically use the smartwatch, but for the night occasion you decided to go with the real watch and then swap the Ring so it's not to, not to lose your tracking.
Yeah, I think both use cases make sense. But
Although having the extra device just for the occasional use doesn't make too much sense.
That's a bit of a far stretch, but yeah.
And it's $400.
Yeah, pricey, I would say, pricey for what it is. But at least the good thing is that you don't need a subscription. So
which is interesting.
Yeah.
Oura Ring is the biggest smart ring so far. It costs $300, but it has a subscription.
Yeah, it has a $6 subscription monthly, so this kind of adds up over time.
What's the subscription for?
For like just to see your metrics. I think like to see the charts and everything, you need to pay for the subscription. So,
Which is weird. I mean,
so you have to pay it. It's not.
The device
that
takes the data, gets the metrics, sends them to the app on your phone. I don't understand why you would need a subscription there, but hey, it's probably a discounted price, also $300.
Might be as well, yeah.
If Samsung's going all the way, although it's Samsung, so it uses the brand to leverage and being able to charge the higher price for $400.
Right, yeah. So that's the Galaxy Ring, a very new and slightly strange device. We still don't know where exactly it will fit, but we'll see.
It has the first gen vibes.
Yeah.
A little bit. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. And that leaves us with one final very fun topic.
That leaves us with nothing.
With nothing on the table, but it's the new like sub-brand for nothing, which is CMF, whatever that means.
I still haven't researched that. The meaning of that brand.
The first time I saw it, I thought it's like maybe camera phone something, and because it had that little dial in the teaser pictures, and I thought like this is like a rocker or something, so it's camera phone something, but no, it just it's an extremely cheap phone.
Cheap manufacturer of phones, CMF.
CMF
with a misspelled phones.
Okay, that's one interpretation. So how much it cost? $200?
Yeah, we have the brand new CMF Phone 1, $200 price, and it is kind of a fresh start for ultra cheap budget phones. It has that design something that nothing is known for. Oh, that was a sentence.
Yeah.
Basically it's a design-focused smartphone with very well optimized internals.
It doesn't look bad.
Yeah, I would say it looks. I actually like the looks. It's different. It has these screws on the outside, and you can just use a screwdriver. You can take off the rear cover, replace it with a different one. And as you pointed out earlier, before we started the podcast, oh, you can actually go without a case with this one because a replacement back cover costs like $20, and you can easily change yourself unless you break the screen. And for the screen, you probably could use a screen protector.
And the case won't save you from breaking the screen most often. So,
obviously, but at least like if you scratch the back case, you can easily swap it.
Yeah.
It's a fun concept. I love
It's a fun concept. 3 different colors. Yeah, and what can you do with it? The big thing there is, aside from the price, which is extremely cheap, so they also did something else that's interesting, which is the modules.
Yeah.
And you don't get too many modules. You have a kickstand.
You have kind of this accessory that kind of you can attach a linear to it also. The kickstand one I really like, but
yeah, it's nice. And then the other one is a wallet.
The other one is a wallet on the back. Yeah.
You can put like credit card in it. It kind of looks like the MagSafe card case for the iPhone. But on a $200 phone.
It's a cool concept.
Do you attach it like with the screws?
Good question.
It doesn't have magnets.
I don't think it does. Yeah.
Oh boy.
The interesting thing about this phone is when you look at it on the back, you see 2 cameras, but it's not 2 cameras. It's actually just 2 sensors and only 1 camera.
Okay, what's the second sensor for?
So the second sensor is kind of like a depth sensor, which is supposed to help you with get portraits right, but it really doesn't do much at all, except trick people that this is a dual camera phone. But one interesting thing about this sensor is some developer, I will put the credit somewhere here in the description, discovered that you can use a third-party app and use this second sensor kind of as an infrared camera that shows you the internals of some gadget. So for example, you have your TV remote with the lid closed, and you kind of point the CMF Phone 1 towards it, and you can see the inside, you can see the batteries. So that was really cool. It's like a secret feature of the phone. But then immediately CMF heard about this, and they
patched it.
They patched it, so you can no longer do this. But this was a cool thing to do.
What else does it have? I think we haven't tested it yet, but I think it's supposed to have a pretty great battery life, 5,000 milliamp hour battery.
It's a big phone, 6.7 inches also.
Okay, and by the way, $200, and you have 6.7 inch. AMOLED display, dynamic refresh rate.
120 hertz.
Up to 120 hertz. I mean, it starts at, you can get it in 128 gigabytes or 256 configurations.
Good enough storage. Pretty good processor, even if it's not the fastest.
Yeah, it's a MediaTek mid-range something, doesn't matter. I mean, nothing phones tend to be pretty well optimized, right?
Definitely.
Smoothly.
That's one of their strong points,
So I would expect this one to run pretty fluidly as well. Probably not the best one for like super heavy gaming, but
check it out. CMF
very interesting.
Phone 1.
And together with that, they introduced it like with a little mini ecosystem of its own, right? They came up with a watch, CMF Watch
Pro 2,
going straight to the 2 and the Pro, and it's $60.
It's dirt cheap, this one. Now, initial reviews mention it's a little bit slow, but we have to check it out. We haven't tested this one yet. By the way, reviews will probably be coming soon on PhoneArena.com. Check it out. But the watch, it also kind of follows this same design language. You can kind of swap the bezel around it. You can go for either a slightly circular one, or I should say rounded one.
In different colors, maybe.
And the flat one, different colors. You also have your heart rate measurements, you have workout support, and great battery life, up to 11 days of battery life.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, sounds like an awesome little
I'll
watch.
take it.
For this price, why not? And you also have the CMF buds, and forgive me, but I don't remember the exact name of the buds, but they're also cheap buds that we know Nothing has done some really good things with audio, and if you look at the Nothing year 1, nothing year 2. You see the evolution. The latest ones sound really good.
And those were the first products by nothing, right? They were the buds.
They started with the buds, with a nothing ear, and now we have the second generation, and now we have the even more with the CMF products. So we expect these to also sound pretty good.
Carl Pay, man, this guy, going places.
Yeah, good for him. Yeah.
Very interesting move with the CMF. And you mentioned that they already got a lot of orders, right?
Yeah, and this was really cool. CMF says they got 100,000 orders for under 3 hours, which is a record for the company. And previously, their fastest selling phone was the Nothing Phone 2A, which also got 100,000 orders in 24 hours.
Okay.
So this one is much faster.
Yeah.
And obviously the biggest market for such a cheap phone is India and probably those Asian markets, but it is available in the West. It is available in the US as well. So this is, check it out.
Yeah, broad availability, which is impressive for such a, let's say, young and small company still.
Yeah, definitely.
Pretty good. Alrighty. Guys, a lot of new material to think about. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you in the next episode.
See you around.